Welcome to Young Sportsplex, where we have today's playoff matchup between the Niagara College Knights and the Humber Hawks. Excuse me. This game right here, it's win or go home for both of these teams. Here in beautiful and cold Young Sportsplex here in Welland.
Very cold. You can say that again, Alex. It's going to be a chilly game for sure here tonight. 7 o'clock start, a little bit late compared to the majority of the women's games we've commentated here this season. And it's definitely going to play a factor, Alex. The cold, for sure, going to affect the ball movement, most likely the athlete's performance as well on the field. So that's definitely a factor. But very excited to be here. A huge start to the playoffs for both of these teams here in Welland. And what are you looking to see from the Knights here?
Well, what I'm looking from the Knights is for them to win. But besides that, keep up their defensive pressure. They've been very good defensively, only giving up 11 goals on the season, and they're going to need to keep that up. Humber has been, they've been able to score not quite at the level as Niagara with only 20 goals, but they're going to need to keep the ball out of their net.
And they've done a great job of that throughout the season, only conceding 9 goals so far this season. And it's a very strong number for them, and see if they can continue that here in Welland. Like you said, Alex, Niagara has been very strong this year, 24 goals for the Knights.
Plus 13 goal differential.
Exactly. They've been extremely strong.
Yep. The winner of this game is going to play the winner of St. Clair versus Sheridan, which is the 2-7 matchup, and St. Clair is the 2 seed. As of now, it is tied 0-0 at halftime, so we'll see how that progresses, and that will likely have a huge implication on the winner of this game, because it will be, if Sheridan wins, it'll be a home game for Niagara, and if it's a win for Humber, well, if Sheridan wins their game, it'll be a home game for the winner of this game, but if the 2 seed St. Clair takes care of business, the winner of this game will go on a road trip to Windsor to take on St. Clair.
Very powerful St. Clair team as well. That's not a drive you want to make to go face that team on their home field in a do-or-die matchup. So a big game out there this evening. We will keep tabs on them as we progress through this one here in Welland. But
this one's likely to be really physical. Humber coming into this one had the second most yellow cards in the league this season. So we'll see if that physical play continues. Niagara is actually the second fewest yellow cards during the season. So we'll see if the physicality is both ways, or
it could be a factor.
Oh, 100%.
If Humber's bringing energy and physicality into this one, and the Knights might play a little bit more timid, that definitely could play either in your favor or against. Humber potentially picking up cards and fouls that will bring momentum to the Knights. And on the flip side, if the Knights can't compete physically with these ladies from the Hawks, that could also work against them. So an interesting stat there, Alex, to think about. A physical team coming here into Welland to play the Knights. One thing
to mention, we mentioned the cold is obviously very cold right now. Our hands are cold, and obviously for the players out there, they're cold. So that could definitely be a factor in the game. I know last game here at Young Sportsplex, it was very, very windy, and that definitely made an impact on the game. It doesn't look like it'll be windy here tonight, but
hands and toes are the big ones when it comes to the cold. The hands and the toes, and of course in soccer, the toes are pretty important out there. And like you said, not expecting a whole lot of wind tonight, but we are expecting to drop at least 2 degrees throughout the course of this one. So it will get colder, believe it or not, and we'll see how these ladies respond.
Well, last game they had a blanket on the bench to keep them warm, which I'm sure that helped.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Lots of movement though, and soccer is one of those games where a lot of running is going to keep you warm. Nevertheless, I'm sure these ladies will be totally fine out there. I would say the feet and the toes are more important, as we will step aside for the national anthem here.
Well, it is almost game time here. Potentially the last game for some of these ladies here at Young Sportsplex. So there's going to be a lot on the line. As we said before in the opening, it's win or go home. This could be the last game for either one of these teams. So
one of these teams, correct, Alex, and not just the Knights and the Hawks here tonight competing with their lives and their backs against the wall. Taking a look around the league, Loyalist is at Seneca tonight. They play 5 o'clock. That game is just about coming to an end. George Brown at Cambrian, Sheridan at St. Clair, as we mentioned, being the highlight game for us to pay attention to. That game is going to influence the winner's route into next weekend. Mohawk at Conestoga, up 2-0. Closing in on halftime. Durham is at Algonquin. Fanshawe taking on Redeemer. St. Lawrence at Centennial, they're down 3-0. And of course, Humber visiting Niagara College here in Welland. And for all these teams and all these ladies, like you said, a very important game on the slate, not just as far as progressing deeper and deeper into this playoff run, Alex, but for, like you said, maybe some of those senior athletes, maybe non-returning athletes, players that are looking to move on in their athletic and in their careers. And this game could be their last, and it's one I'm sure they're going to pour their heart and soul into as we get ready for kickoff here.
Well, like you said, it could be their last, and if the 2 seed wins St. Clair, as we get started, this one will just barely stay in bounds for a Torre, but it'll be out for a corner. A throw-in. Looks like Phillip's going to take it. This one will get back for Russell. Russell over to Robitaille. Feeling the pressure from the defender. We'll get it over to Acosta.
It's a nice start for the Hawks. Lots of fantastic ball movement in the backfield. They're doing a good job of controlling. That ball just trickles out of bounds off of Sarah Vogel's defensive attack. But great work off the kickoff. I think that the Knights have failed to regain possession here through the first minute.
Yep, Vogel will head it. Vogel, this very well could be her last game here at Young Sportsplex, as we mentioned in the beginning.
Well, the Vogel family could have both of their final games tonight, as the Niagara College, the men's Knights on the road tonight, also playing a playoff game. And Noah and Sarah have been a part of the Niagara Knights family for the last couple of years, and this game, both of these games tonight, for both of them and their family, means a lot.
Absolutely. Pressured by Phillips, will give it over to the defender, where it's just cleared near Tor Moreno. Tor Moreno tries to get it to Tor Moreno, but it'll get back to the keeper for a kick.
It's a nice looking play in the middle.
Volpe.
Sorry, Alex, excuse me. It's a nice looking play in the middle there, just outside of the box, trying to spring Tor Moreno, and that ball just a little bit out of her reach. But if she ran onto that one, the Knights would have had a break, and it was a nice look from Nisha Goebbels to potentially start that rush.
Yeah, well, as we mentioned before, coming into this one, Humber has only allowed 9 goals against, which is hard to believe because that's less than a goal per game, and they're going to need to continue their defensive play if they're going to want to win this one.
Good start so far.
Yep.
From the back end for the Hawks, as they have barricaded that box thus far.
Vogel pressuring Russell, excuse me. Vogel will play it in her own end. She'll get it over to Goebbels. Phillips will give it up to Varmeyer, where it'll simply just roll out of bounds and then go back to the Hawks for a throw-in.
See, there's that defense that we were talking about. You see the way that the Hawks defenders, their left back in particular on that play, brings herself up that line and makes sure there's nowhere for Varmeyer to go, and does a great job to force her out to the far sideline and really gave her nowhere to go.
Yep, absolutely. Pressured by Varmeyer. This one will get back into Humber territory, where it'll get over to Robitaille. Pressured by Tor Moreno, where it'll get back to Lewis. Vogel will play it in her own end. This one will try to get over to Torre, where it'll get cleared into center, where Sarah Haste will make her first play of the game.
Trying to stay warm back there, Sarah Haste, I can imagine, and she's probably excited to see that ball trickle in her box and go for a run there. But that Humber Hawks attack just broke down a little bit, looking for Caitlin Willett on a stretch pass and just too far out of her reach, and Sarah Haste will regroup for the Knights, and they'll look to break out here.
Yeah, it looked like Phillips tried to get Goebbels there a little bit out of her reach, and it'll get out of bounds for a throw-in for Humber.
Nan Bediako will throw.
It'll get back for Russell.
Nice touch there.
Yep. Vogel with a good defense there to get the ball. Tor Moreno has it near center. Trying to spring Ryder, but Vogel will simply just send it into center, where DeVero will play it. Gets past her defender. Bit of a collision there, but she keeps it. This one will get back to Goebbels. Goebbels trying to spring Ryder and just a bit out of her reach, but she'll have a play on the ball. That one just barely staying in, feeling the pressure. Gives it back to DeVero. DeVero with Acosta with good pressure on DeVero, as the Hawks will get it back and will send it towards center, but it's taken away by Rodrigue and cleared by Onyedbaka. Truant will pressure, defended by Vogel. Russell will send it into center, but Phillips will recover for the Knights.
Lots of pushing and shoving down that far side wall, and again, Anyan Bediako on that far side will reign supreme, and that ball will go out for a throw-in for the Hawks.
It'll get back to the Knights. Di Pasquale, will give it back to Haste for her second play of the game. Not much going on so far in the first 7, so we'll see if that continues.
It's been a calculating start for both teams, Alex. I think they're really feeling each other out. Not a whole lot of a rush to open up this field. Keep it deadlocked. Very slowly ease your way into this one and try not to make any mistakes. And I would say it's been a structured effort from both teams, specifically in the midfield, trying to maintain ball possession and limit offensive runs on both sides.
Well, to your point, these two teams met in the first game of the season, and that was a win for Niagara, 2-1. So it's been a while. These two teams are completely different since the first matchup, so we'll see if that plays an impact on this one.
Well, they don't know each other very well, right? They saw each other at the beginning of the year, and adjustments have clearly been made since then on both sides of the middle line, and they're going to look to learn as much as possible here in the early going as they can to try and help them get an understanding as to how to attack these respective defenses on both sides of the field.
Well, the weather has certainly made an adjustment too, going back from that first game of the season.
Absolutely, it has.
And that one will get out off the kick from Haste.
I do remember that game. It was much warmer.
Yep.
My hands were a little less purple and blue, and I didn't see my breath too often.
That one will get into near center. Ettore having the play on it. Tormoreno will clear it into center. Excuse me, out for a throw-in for the Hawks. Ananye Badoka will throw this one in.
Thought about it. A couple of times she was looking, maybe a stretch throw-in down that line, but she advised against it and went with the short one instead.
Almost like a check down in football. And Hayes will make the play on this one. Taking her time with this one, and she'll just simply throw it to Sarah Vogel. Vogel getting up to Tormoreno, but there's two defenders there, so it's taken away by the Hawks. Trying to spring Acosta, but too much on that one. This one will get back to Robitaille. Robitaille getting it over to Russell, but Tormoreno will collect the loose ball and will try and spring Ryder where there's a foot race, but Volpe will kick it out and to give some support there. That probably would have been Ryder's ball there.
Would have been a break for Ryder. She was most definitely beating her defender on this near side, and a nice job from Volpe to notice that and get on her high horse and come out and intercept that one.
Absolutely. This one will get over to Ettore, as it'll get attempted to get over to Ettore, but this one will get out of bounds for a throw-in for Phillips. Ashley Phillips, the second-year player for the Knights. We'll get a, looks like a foul here, a free kick for Humber. This one will get set into Knights territory. Will Phillips will make the play on the ball. Fragra will have it, and we'll get it back to Lewis. Lewis surveying her options will give a simple pass over to Robitaille. Defended by Di Pasquale, but it'll stay with the Hawks. This one will get back to Robitaille. A little give and go over to Russell. Russell feeling the pressure from DeVero, excuse me. Lewis with the soft pass, a little bit of back and forth between the Hawks. But if you're the Knights, you'll take that because they're not getting into your territory. Truant will try to spring Ryder. This one will get over to Acosta, but Tormoreno is there and she shoved, no call.
Very nice defensive play there from Haley Lewis by the Hawks. Another attempted run from Lily Ryder. That's her third that has been stopped. Twice by goaltender Volpe, and Haley Lewis there making it a third time, stepping up and stopping a potentially dangerous run.
Yeah, we'll see that matchup between Lewis and Ryder, excuse me.
See how it progresses throughout the evening. Ryder, a huge part of this Niagara Knights offensive attack. She is one of their leaders up front and somebody that those midfielders are always looking for her to make those runs. And Haley Lewis is going to have her hands full taking care of Lily Ryder here this evening.
Well, you know, this is, like we said, this is a playoff game, and this is most likely going to go down to the wire. So usually when it goes down to the wire, it's the role players that step up. So we'll see if it's one of the stars for the Knights if they get their goal, or if it's one of their role players. This one will get up to Goebbels, feeling the pressure. Looks like trying to get it over to Tor Moreno, but she wasn't home on that one.
Just a little too far out of her reach, and we'll head back for Volpe. And she's been very active coming out of the box. I've noticed in the first 13 minutes or so of this one, she's done a great job to, when she needs to, get in the play, take control of that ball, and start the break the other way for the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a bit of a risky tactic because there was one play by Ryder where she almost got by her, but we'll see how that progresses, like we said, throughout this one.
Well, timing is a big thing when it comes to running out of your box, and she so far has done a great job of knowing when to do that and when not to. And that's a decision that she's going to understand better than anybody, and so far she's picked right every single time.
Robitaille will give it back to Volpe, where it'll get over to Lewis. Over to Acosta, but blocked by DeVero. DeVero will try it, get it over to Varmeyer, but no luck on that one. Trying to center Calendar, but too much on that one, and Hayes will throw it over to Phillips. Phillips will send it into center. Competition for that one, but it'll get back to the Hawks past in their half, excuse me. Robitaille has it. A little give and go, excuse me. Over to Spalla. Good pass there over to Ettore. Good defensive play but there by Phillips to get the loose ball, but fight for it and it'll get back to the Knights in their territory. Over to Goebbels. Goebbels breaking through center, surveying her options. It'll get over to Ryder. Ryder defended by Lewis, but she'll attempt a shot, but it'll get blocked out of play. Like you said before, Christian, Lewis and Ryder back at it again.
Continuing to go back and forth, and Lewis still owns this side of the field. So far, Ryder having a hard time breaking through that middle line and into the box. And here we will have a corner and see if the Knights can take advantage of a Lewis clear.
Yep, Tor Moreno will take this one. Box filling up. Centers. Attempted header by Vogel. She missed that one, but Phillips will shoot, and that one is way high over the fence.
Great work from the Hawks to clear that one, and Phillips in great position, looks to make a play just outside the box, and just an unfortunate bounce right in front of her on the turf, and that one is tough to keep control of, and just over the net and the fence, and we'll have a goal kick here for the Hawks.
This one will get over to Goebbels. Goebbels over to Phillips. Tried to spring it over to Goebbels, but a little too much on that one. But Goebbels will get in a contest for that, but it'll get back to Volpe for a goal kick. Just past the 17th minute mark. Not too much to really say so far on this one, Christian. It's been a defensive matchup, and coming into this one, we thought it would be. Combined, these teams the Knights gave up only 11 goals in the season, and Humber only 9, so that since there's been not many chances, it's not a surprise so far in this one. That one will get out off of Truant. And Anya Bediaka will throw this one in, do it over again. This one's skied, headed and out of bounds for Phillips for a throw-in. Ryder will play a little give and go, but it's given away to Humber. Russell trying to spring Calendar, but too much on that one, and it'll get to the Knights.
There's Bediako once again on that far side, doing what she does best, as that ball springed ahead.
Yep, to Spala, she'll shoot, and that is high. This game especially is going to be a game of inches, so a couple of missed chances in this one so far by both teams, so we'll see if that comes back to haunt them.
It's a great run there from Kaylee's Calendar here on the near side, looking to make a play on that ball. And like you said, game of inches, and it's a game of feet. And that ball placed a couple of feet over the bar is not good enough on an opportunity like that. And for the Hawks and Calendar on this near side, they're going to look to be better for the remainder of this one. But those are chances in a tight game like this one that you just really can't let them get away from you. And I'm sure head coach Jose Caro is not too happy about that play there for the Hawks.
Truant will will fight for that ball. It'll bounce off Truant's shin, but it'll stay with Humber. Where Volpe will take it. She'll give this one over to Acosta, excuse me. Calendar will play it back. Feeling the pressure from Varmeyer. Where it's taken away by Tor Moreno. She'll get it back to Vogel. But it's back with Humber. Tor Moreno pressuring will give it back to Robitaille. Robitaille will send this one into center where Vogel will make a play on that one. And the Knights will just simply take their time on this one. Di Pasquale, the captain, will play it. Looks like she tried to spring Rodrigue there, but not quite enough on that one. Ryder and Varmeyer applying the pressure. This one's going to get over to Acosta. But Tor Moreno will get the loose ball.
It's a nice job from Tor Moreno in the midfield. In the last 90 seconds, she's taken that ball away from her attacker, Antonio Gotti, 3 times, and she's really doing a great job to stand her ground defensively in the midfield. As we know, she can also play offense and do it at a very high level, but showing some discipline and defensive ability here in Welland tonight.
Yeah, I've loved her game so far today, and even going back to the whole season, like you said, can do a little bit of both with the offense and the defense. So I'm sure Tor Moreno and the Knights would love a little bit of both from her today. This one will get into center. Russell will play, defended by Vogel. Tried to chip it over to her teammate, but Goebbels will get the loose ball, and that one will simply just get out by a throw-in with Ananya Bediaka. That's a difficult one.
An alert from our out-of-town scoreboard. Just taking a look at the Sheridan and St. Clair game. In the 60th minute, Sheridan taking a 1-0 lead, so definitely going to continue to keep an eye on that one throughout the remainder of this game here in Welland. But Sheridan, so far, looking to be potentially a prospective opponent for one of these two clubs next week.
That's gonna be massive, because that, like we said, that could mean a home game or a trip to Windsor.
Huge difference.
Oh, 100%.
Huge difference. Playing at home on a turf that you know, in your own backyard. You don't have to go too far. That bus ride could introduce some fatigue, right? There's lots of factors when it comes to the difference between playing at home and playing on the road. And I'm sure this Knights club would most definitely like to be back here next weekend on their Young Sports Complex turf.
Well, they've got to worry about what's at hand now. They're 23 minutes into their first playoff game, so right now they're just worried about getting past Humber, and Humber is worried about Niagara, but we'll see what happens over the next 65.
That's right. 65 more minutes left to play here as we have a substitution.
Truant will check out for Greco. Juliana Greco, the second-year player from right here in her backyard, Welland, Ontario. Russell will shoot that. Looked like it got deflected, but it will be played by Sarah Haste. Haste surveying her options. Haste will send this into mid-center, and it will get out off of the Hawks for a throw-in for the Knights. Phillips will play this one. Toro Moreno. We'll go over to Di Pasquale. This one will get chipped in, but not quite enough to get it over to Varmeyer. And that one will get out for a throw-in by Phillips. Goebbels has it. Try to get it over to Phillips, but this is going the other way. But nice defensive play to somewhat stop it by Vogel. Russell's breaking in. Defended by Vogel. She'll shoot, and that will go wide. I know when that left her foot, it looked like it was going to go in, but it carried just past the left goal post for Haste, and I'm sure she was not complaining about the missed shot whatsoever. Yeah,
just wide on that shot there from Caitlin Russell, and a fantastic move into the middle. She starts down this near sideline and makes a fake to the outside and then brings it into the middle where she attempts to put one on net. And like you said, Sarah Haste counted her lucky stars back there that one didn't find that post or potentially that left corner. And a great power move from Caitlin Russell.
And even it kind of just came out of nowhere off a broken play to get that chance by Humber, where this one will come out for a Niagara throw-in.
It's been an interesting start here for both teams. Through the first 26 minutes, I could say it's anybody's game to this point. Not a whole lot of crazy strong scoring chances on either side of the field. Both goaltenders have played strong up until this point. I would say both defensive lines have also played very strong up until this point, and offensively, not a whole lot to speak of for both teams. And I think that's going to be a big one moving forward, is for those strikers and those midfielders and those attackers find a way to break through the defensive presence of both of these teams. And I can't say that either clubs have done that yet, Alex.
Yeah, and I would say, even to your point, with not many scoring chances, the best scoring chance that we had was probably Phillips just down there about 2 minutes ago.
And that's the thing, that the scoring chances have been so few and far between. Execution is going to be another big one here today, Alex. You got to find a way to take advantage of those chances when they present themselves. And again, both teams have failed in that respect as well.
Greco applying the pressure will get it back to Volpe, where it's trying to get it towards Calendar, but out of bounds. But Phillips will throw this one in for the Knights. Headed by Greco. Played by Robitaille. Trying to get it over to Spalla. Di Pasquale will clear that one out, and it'll be a throw-in for Acosta.
It's a great try there from Spalla in the middle. Interestingly enough, elects to do a right back heel kick in front of her left leg, looking to spring her striker, in the middle of the box. And a better defensive play from Sarah Vogel stops that one.
Yeah, Vogel has been incredible on the defensive side of the ball so far in this one.
all season long, too, Sarah Vogel.
Oh, 100%.
She's been phenomenal for this team and a heart and soul, the heartbeat of the back end for the Knights. And what a sad prospect it is to see this Knights team move on without her next season. But lots of credit where credit is due. Sarah Vogel, what a fantastic season she has had, and hopefully a fantastic playoff run as well.
Absolutely. It's a bittersweet for both sides. And Noah Vogel for the men's team, it'll be potentially his last game today as they're on the road. Russell has it. Springing calendar, but too much on that one, but she'll keep it, defended by Phillips. This one will just get cleared to Phillips, and it'll go off the foot of the Hawk, and it will get over to the Knights for a throw-in. That one hitting off Robitaille's foot, and it will be Phillips' throw.
A little bit of a field tilt here over the last couple of minutes. The Knights having a hard time getting out of their zone, and this throw-in here could potentially turn the tide. So look for Phillips to place this one nicely, and she will to Ryder.
Well, coming into this one, Niagara obviously is the higher seed hosting their home playoff game. They're the 3 seed, Humber's the 6 seed, and right now it's been fairly even. But obviously it's a one-game matchup, and the seed doesn't matter. Both of these teams are 0-0 coming into this one.
Playoff sports are like that. It doesn't much matter who's the better team coming in. It's about the performance in the moment and who rises to the occasion. And like you said, pretty even so far. I would say the Hawks currently leaning towards them as far as ball possession is concerned. They've been all over it and doing a great job to keep that ball in Knights territory. But nevertheless, still a 0-0 game here in Welland with 60 left to play.
Played by Rodrigue. Now we'll get over to Vogel. Vogel surveying her options, trying to get it up to Greco. Well, Greco will apply the pressure, excuse me. Ryder was there for a little bit of assistance, but it'll get over to DeVero. Ryder applying the pressure. This one will get sent up to Frege. But it will be out off of Varmeyer for a Hawks throw-in. Ananya Badyeka will throw this one in for the Hawks, as they'll spring into Knights territory, where Tor Moreno will chip it back to Vogel.
That's a great run from Sienna Tor Moreno, coming back to stop that one from all but midfield, excuse me. She runs all the way back and stops that offensive attack. Great effort from her, and another example of her defensive presence here tonight.
And this one will get out. We've talked about Tor Moreno a lot in this one. She's been probably Niagara's best player in this one so far. She's done a little bit of both all season on offense and defense, so we'll see if she can chip in on the offensive side as this one is tied at 0.
She's got so much speed, Alex, and that's one of the things that makes her not just such a strong offensive player, but a strong defender as well, because there's very few things you can do on a soccer field if you don't have the space to do it. And Tor Moreno takes away the space on the defensive end, and on the offensive end, she finds that space with her legs and with her speed, and it's one of those things that makes her such a great player.
Yep, speed kills. Tor Moreno will play this one. She'll try to chip it up to Varmeyer, but it's picked off by the defender. Volpe will chip this one into near center. Acosta's got it. Played by Vogel. Greco will send it back to Di Pasquale, the captain. Rochelle try and spring Greco. Greco breaking in. She'll chip it, but not quite enough on that one. That one was going wide, but decent chance nonetheless.
Well, not a whole lot of room for Greco, nowhere to go. Lots of defensive pressure, and it forces her to elect to take a shot like she just did off her left boot, and with not a whole lot of momentum behind it, there's not much that you can get behind a ball like that. But great job from the Hawks to really insulate Greco and suffocate her outside the box, really giving her no options on that play.
Well, in a game like this where it's 0-0 and it's likely to be a very highly contested game throughout, you got to get shots on net. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, as that one is centered out front, but will roll out.
It's a great cross there, looking for potentially a head or a foot inside the box, and just doesn't quite find somebody, but a great hit on this near side.
So you've got
Emily Robitaille. Sorry, Alex, excuse me.
We've got a substitution for Niagara. Josie Severin will check in, and Varmeier will check out, as Vogel will play this one in her own end. Almost at the halfway point of the 34th minute. DeVero will try and spring the open teammate. This one over to Collender. Collender feeling the pressure from Phillips. But a great defense there by Phillips, keeping her to the outside. And that one.
Patience. Great patience there from Phillips. Watching Collender. She's making some skill moves, moving her feet around, and Ashley Phillips not buying any of it. Staying there, square to her attacker, and makes a fantastic, poised and disciplined defensive play.
As this one is cleared by Vogel, but nearly out, and Ryder will apply the pressure, but it'll get out for a throw-in. As we've got a substitution for Humber. A little bit of confusion going on, as we have a Hawk who's down in the near the Knights net. Looks like she's tying her shoe.
Well, the trainer's running all the way out there, and I think everything's going to be fine, because the trainer will have to run all the way back. That's unfortunate. But she was just tying her shoe, and everything seems to be okay, as we will resume play here. Also a substitution coming in for the Hawks.
Yep. Collender will check out for the Hawks, as this one's thrown into Greco, but it'll be out for a Hawks throw-in. Afonso will be the substitution for Collender of the Hawks, as it gets out again. Phillips will throw it in for the Knights. She'll try and get it over to Ryder, where Tor Moreno will chip it back to Di Pasquale, just near center. But she tries to get it over to Truant, but too much on that one. And it'll get back to the Hawks, as it's given over to Afonso, who just came into the game, and it'll get out for throw-in.
Nice positioning there from Phillips. Notices that run a few seconds before it's made. Covers that zone, makes sure that she's in between the ball and the attacker, and takes away any opportunity of her attacker to beat her to that ball, wins the race, and clears it to the sideline.
I know whenever I played sports as a kid, my coach, always told me, take away time and space, and that is exactly what she did on that one, as Russell will shoot that one high and over the net. Where Hayes still take the goal kick, almost at the 38th minute mark. As this one will get back to Vogel. The Knights trying to get their attack going, but it's given away, and foul is called, so it'll stay with the Knights. Di Pasquale will take the kick and give it over to Goebbels, where we get another foul on DeVero, and it'll be free kick for the Knights. Goebbels will take this one.
Very dangerous Goebbels from anywhere on the field. She's had a few very long goals this year off free kicks. Let's see what she does here.
As this one will get near the box, but it's recovered by Humber. But it'll stay in and it'll get back to Vogel. Afonso tried to keep that one in, but what she did, but she had to give it back to the Hawks. Hayes will play this one up to Vogel. Where it's send up to Ryder, where she'll feel the pressure from Lewis. And it'll get sent into Hawks territory. Where it's sprung in by Callender, and it's shot just high. Good chance there for Humber, trying to break the goose egg. As we'll get some subs.
Yeah, Kaylee's Callender coming down that far side. Out of position for her. She's usually on the right side of the field, playing right wing. Left wing, she still has that speed. She can still use her offensive intelligence. And all season long, she's been a huge part of this Hawks squad, leading the way on the score sheets. 10 games started for her, 7 goals and 7 assists, 14 points this season. Leading her entire roster by 100%.
Wow.
The closest to Callender is 7 points. That's Chantel Scalia.
Doubling
as
that.
a 4th year. She's doubling it as a 2nd-year player for the Hawks. So a returning superstar next season for the Hawks, making waves this season, helping them get here to the playoffs, and in this first playoff game doing a great job to find those open spaces and really create dangerous opportunities here for the Hawks.
Lewis will try and spring that off to the corner, but it'll be a throw in for the Knights. DeVera will take this one, but it'll get to the Hawks, but nearly taken away by Tor Moreno, as we've talked about so much in this one, where Lewis will take the loose ball, defended by Phillips. Where Sarah Vogel will get the loose ball, but Greco will give it back to Phillips. Sarah Vogel surveying her options, but she'll give it back to Di Pasquale. As it is sent in to Goebbels. Where Phillips will get the loose ball and it'll get up to Goebbels. Goebbels will give it back in her own zone to Di Pasquale. Where she'll try and spring Greco, but a little too much on that one. It'll get back to Volpe of the Hawks. Where Di Pasquale will get the loose ball and chip it over to DeVero. This will be a throw-in for DeVero of the Knights, where it'll get back to the Hawks, where it'll get over to Attore. Attore springing Santigua. Santigua defended by Phillips, where it'll be left for Haste to play in her own end. 43 minutes into this one so far, not much to speak on either side. And coming into this one, that's kind of what we anticipated, where both teams were very, very good defensively. And we saw some great defensive plays so far, as this one will roll out off of the header.
Well, just pure deadlock so far here in Welland from both teams. Like you said, Alex, not a whole lot going on. And both teams doing a great job to limit the opposition from finding those opportunities. And we'll see how things progress into the second half as, like you said, we approach halftime here in Welland. Both these teams will be looking to make offensive adjustments. Defensively, on the other hand, keep doing what you're doing. There's been no room for both teams besides a couple of opportunities on both sides of the field. I think for the Hawks, find a way to break through Sarah Vogel's presence in the center of that field. And on the other side of center for the Knights, you gotta find a way past Anine Bediako on that far side, as her presence has created lots of danger.
As this one will get back to Vero, as it's up to Goebbels. Or she'll try to spring Rodder, but it's played to her teammate, where it's given away to Severin. Can't corral it, and it'll get into near center. Collision there between Di Pasquale and Russell, and Russell's down for the Hawks.
Well, it was an interesting play. Di Pasquale takes a couple of steps forward into Russell, who has her back to the defender, and an aggressive move forward is enough to call that a free kick for the Hawks, and they'll go the other way here with a few seconds left to tick on the clock as we have approached or met the 45th minute here of the first half.
An update for the out-of-town scoreboard. Sheridan is still up 1-0 as this one will get out. Sheridan up 1-0 in their matchup. The upset so far in the 76th minute, so we'll see how that one progresses. But right now the focus is between these Hawks and the Knights, as they will play the winner of that matchup. As Di Pasquale will play it in her own end in extra time. We'll see how much time the officials will allow. Where it's off to Goebbels, but given away to the opponent, where it's shot and blocked, as this one will get out and will be a throw-in for Ananya Bredjeka.
See if the Hawks can come up with a quick counter punch here in the dying seconds of this first half.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are going to try and set the tempo for the second half in this extra time here, and likely if either team gets a goal, that's going to be a problem, well, likely throughout the rest of the game, because this one has been really tightly contested.
Well, one goal could find you one win here in Welland, as, like you said, it's been that kind of a game. And once that momentum shifts and somebody finds the back of the net here in Welland, no telling how this game could potentially open up. It could blow it wide open, or in total opposite fashion, it could tighten the game up even more. Defensively, if you've found the back of the net, you found the one that you might be looking for, that could seal the deal for you, and you could then turn your focus entirely to the defensive side of the soccer ball and make this a very tight game, as we have met the whistle here at the end of the first half.
In this very defensive first half of soccer, so we'll see what happens in the second half. Likely one will do it for you, but we'll be back in just a bit for the second half between this playoff matchup between the Humber Hawks and your Niagara College Knights. We are back. We are back for second half action between the Hawks and the Knights. We got some breaking news over the intermission. The game between Sheridan and St. Clair has went final, with Sheridan winning 1-0 in the upset, which means the winner of this game will host Sheridan at home. As the second half begins, it is still 0-0. And should this game go to extra time, there will be 2 15-minute halves plus, and if there's no score after that, it will go to penalties like in FIFA. So 5 shots each, as this one will get back out of play.
Very curious, sorry Alex, very curious to see what adjustments are going to be made coming out of that first half. Like we've talked about, pretty much for the entire 45 minutes of that first, not a whole lot going on out there. It was high-paced, lots of defensive action. Offensively, though, not a whole lot of breakthroughs. And I'm looking for these offenses to really make strides forward in that regard. And we'll see exactly what was talked about on the sidelines at halftime.
Well, I was having a conversation over the break, and someone mentioned to me that it seems like both of these teams are playing not to lose.
That's a great point. They are playing not to lose. They're playing to keep goals out of their own nets and not to go out and find goals to put in the opposing team's net. And it is a strategy that works, but you do still have to find the back of the net at some point. Otherwise, this game will stay 0-0 forever.
You're absolutely right, as Russell will play this one in Knights territory. Coming into this one, Kaylee's calendar is tied for 7th in the league in goals. So we'll see if this one gets to penalties, if that affects, if the advantage will go for the Hawks. But hopefully we'll get an answer before then, as
we had a couple of goal scorers for Niagara as well. Anisha Goebbels and Lily Ryder, both having great seasons. 5 goals for Anisha Goebbels, 6 for Lily Ryder. So both dangerous in terms of a penalty kick as well. But you're right, Kaylee's calendar has been phenomenal this year. And as a second-year student, really making a mark on the OCAA and opening eyes as to the kind of talent that she is for the Humber Hawks.
Well, the scary thing is it's year 2.
It's year 2. And year 3, potentially year 4, you don't know how long somebody like Kaylee's calendar could be a huge part of this Humber Hawks team, and it's definitely got the rest of the OCAA on watch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm sure Humber is looking forward to her future, but right now they're focusing on this one right now, as both teams are fighting for their lives, fighting to host Sheridan at their home building, as we've just got word of the upset that happened with the 7 seed beating the 2 seed, as Volpe will play this one.
That's just, that's playoff soccer, man. That's playoff sports for you. You never know what to expect, and I think both of these teams are playing with the exact same mindset here in Welland. You don't know what to expect. You don't know how things are going to shake out, so be cautious. And both of these teams have had a very cautious approach to this one, and it's a very interesting upset out there, and we'll see how that affects the gameplay here. I'm sure these ladies know what happened. Their coach probably doesn't want them to know, but I'm sure that they are very aware of the fact that that game has ended in the way that it has. And it's something that will motivate these ladies here on this field at the prospect of potentially facing a team opening up their chances and their opportunities to progress deeper into this playoff run than maybe they would have had if it went the other way.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, all that matters is this game. And going back to your point, the 2 and 7 seeds were the 2 and 7 seeds in the regular season. This is the playoffs. Both of these teams are, well, Sheridan's now 1-0, but coming into this one, they're 0-0. And even in this one, this is between the 3 and the 6 seed, and Humber has not looked like a 6 seed so far in this one.
No, they haven't.
It's given away. And Calendar will take this one on the wing. Try and center, and a swing and a miss there by by Di Pasquale, and this one will stay with the Knights, but you don't usually see that swing and a miss there from Di Pasquale, the captain.
Just a little over her foot, and a bouncing ball will do that occasionally. And a nice look from Khalees Callender into the box as she looks to find the teammate in the danger zone. Not a whole lot to speak of there, as the Knights do a great job to push all attackers to the outside of the box.
Di Pasquale will try and get it over to Phillips, but it's nearly taken away by the aforementioned Callender, where Gaddy will try and spring it down to center, but it's given away by Vogel. Not a great pass there, but a great play by Callender. That's a couple takeaways that she's had in the second half. Di Pasquale applying the pressure, excuse me. We're to get over to Ananye Badieka, where a bouncing shot will get in on haste. It almost seems like in this one it's going to be a fluky bounce from an unsung hero in this one. That's what the playoffs are all about, not just in soccer, but in all sports, especially in the do or die. So even just getting shots on net, you never know what might happen.
You're not going to find any pretty ones here tonight, Alex. It's going to be about those dirty goals. You got to get that ball into the danger zones, find a way to create disruption in the box, and hopefully this cross will do just that.
And it nearly does, but on the rebound, it's a goal! Sierra Torre-Moreno breaks the deadlock, and Niagara has the lead. 51 minutes into this one. A great save by Volpe, but a rebound and in the back of the net by Torre-Moreno.
We were just talking about it. How crazy is that? We were just talking about it. Put the ball into those dangerous areas. Find the box. Get that ball into the foot space of some of your attackers. They do just that. A beautiful cross coming in off this right side. Finds Torre-Moreno, and she makes no mistake putting that one away. And we have a 1-0 game here in Welland.
As that one nearly gets out, as Phillips will throw this one in. The goal scorer, Torre-Moreno, will make a play on the ball, give it over to Goebbels. Vogel will leave it for Di Pasquale. Right now, it looks like the Knights are almost content to just let the time go by, but it's a little early for that, but we'll see how these next 37 go. And that one's nearly given away, but Varmeyer is there to save the day for Di Pasquale. Well, she'll send this one into Ryder, but it's taken by Lewis. But Lewis
play at center.
Lewis will make the collision on Torre-Moreno, and they'll call a foul for a free kick. The captain, Di Pasquale, will take this one. Di Pasquale, the fourth-year player for the Knights. This game very well could be her last as a Knight and last on this turf, but the Knights are going to try and do everything in their power to get another game on Saturday.
Well, a great start for the Knights here in this second half, and you see a little bit of an adjustment off of that play. That goal crossed in from the right side. Now, the Knights typically attacking on the left side. They love to move the ball out to the far left wing and break it in through what I would call a structured approach. That was a direct approach. They went right into the box, straight to the foot of Torre-Moreno, and right into the back of the net. And not wasting any time. It's something we talked about in the first half, is playing to win instead of playing not to lose. And the Knights have done a great job to keep their foot on the gas pedal here. As Lily Ryder hits the turf, we will have a call.
Yep, she'll hit the turf after the collision by Lewis, and that is a yellow card on Lewis. Humber coming into this one with the second most yellows in the league, which we expected a physical game, and it hasn't been too physical coming in the first half, but obviously with the yellow, it's a collision there by Ryder and Lewis. So that one will be a free kick for the Knights.
Really the first play like that we've seen tonight so far, Alex. The first break, Lily Ryder all alone. Lone breakaway with a defender chasing her right at her heels, and really the first opportunity for a physical play like that to create an opportunity like this.
Well, the goal scorer right now will take this kick. And it's blocked by the Hawks. Return Moreno will get it back. Feeling the pressure from two defenders, we'll just give it back to Di Pasquale. We'll get it up to Phillips. A little bit out of her reach, and the Hawks will take it and clear it near center. Russell will take it over to Callender. Vogel will play it nice and slow. A little bit of hot potato between the Knights. Moreno getting pressure there by two Hawks. Di Pasquale will give it over to Varmar, but this one will roll out.
Well, look to see a lot more of this from the Knights. Slow attack and a slow breakout coming out of their own zone allows them to take more and more time off the clock, Alex, and that's exactly what they'll be looking to do down the stretch here in the second half.
Well, you got to be careful too, because if you chew too much on the clock, it might bite you. But now that they've got this, cushion no more as Russell takes the centering pass from Callender, and it is tied just like that.
What a beautiful cross from Kaylee's Callender. Just bends that one right around the head of Ashley Phillips. Watch that one soar into the box. And a beautiful header. Places that one in the bottom left corner, and all of a sudden, just like that, it's 1-1. As we take a look
Goal scored by Humber.
at the scoreboard now, and all of a sudden, it's a totally different game. We come out of halftime, 45 minutes played, no goals scored. And all of a sudden, 12 minutes into this second half, it's a totally different game. And it's been cracked wide open here in Welland.
Well, we were just talking about how chewing too much of the clock might bite you, and right it goes in the back of the Niagara net as Vogel will play the loose ball.
Well, slow play no more. They're going to have to put their foot right back on the gas. Like you said, Alex, that strategy can come back to bite you.
Yeah, I mean, even going back to the previous point where it felt like this one was going to be very tight-knit, and both teams felt like they almost played trying not to lose, and it seems like both teams kind of changed that mindset. As a good slide tackle there by Goebbels. And this one will get into Hawks territory where they'll try to get over to Varmar, but it's headed by the defender. As we've got a whistle for a downed Hawk.
And a couple of Hawks on the turf here as the physicality really starts to increase.
Chantel Sprala is the one who's down for the Hawks. We've actually got two Hawks down on both sides of center.
And Chantel, just a huge part of this Humber Hawks roster, and hoping for the best of health for both of these Hawks here as they are tended to by the training staff. And Chantel, the fourth year, with 7 points this year, as she will slowly walk off with the training staff to the bench. And
I didn't quite see what happened on either one of those plays, to be honest with you, as we've got a substitution for the Hawks. But right now, the attention is to the second down Hawk. But
both teams an opportunity to stretch the legs and disadvantage in a way, try to stay warm here as Hawks will assist their teammate up and towards the bench, as it's just terrible to see. You never want to see somebody leave the field in such a distraught condition, and we will wish her the best of health.
Antoine Gaddy, the fifth-year player from Scarborough, as we've got some subs for Niagara.
Number 18,
Tor Moreno
coming in for Humber.
will come out. Hannah Truant will check back in. So some substitutions for both sides after the injuries. So we'll see what happens. That really slowed down the fast pace that we were having after the 2 goals back to back. But Di Pasquale will play this one at center. Tor Moreno, the goal scorer, will play it, where Phillips will try to spring it to Ryder, but Volpe will make the play.
Once again, great timing and decision-making spontaneously from Volpe, the goalkeeper, to get out when she needs to and smother that ball and take away any chance at a goal.
As this one will get into Hawks territory and cleared near center by Volpe, where De Vera will make a play on the ball. Devereaux will take the throw for the Knights. Where this one will get up to Ryder, trying to spring Farmeyer, but not quite enough on that one. But back to Vogel, over to Di Pasquale. We're trying to get sent up to Farmeyer, but Vogel will boot this one up to Callender, where Di Pasquale will make a play on the loose ball, where that one will go off of the Hawk and into the crowd. And this one will get thrown in by Phillips, where Vogel tries to make the play, but it stays with the Hawks. Russell has it, trying to spring through, defended well by Di Pasquale, and an easy save there by Haste. That is picture perfect defense there by Di Pasquale. Can't draw it up any better.
Beautiful defense, like you said.
Like I've alluded to, that was the perfect definition of taking away time and space, and forced the goal scorer, Russell, into a fairly easy stop for Haste.
An interesting play though. She almost gave her attacker space and let them play with their own time. She ran out of time, and Di Pasquale did a great job to almost take away any opportunity by allowing her to run herself into the ground. And she got a little bit too deep into that box, and Di Pasquale just waited and waited and waited, and eventually a very weak shot was placed on Sarah Haste and easily stopped and turned aside.
Well, she almost said, if you're going to beat me, you can beat me this way. And she gave that option, and it was a easy save for her.
You're going to beat me on my terms. And she couldn't do that. So a beautiful defensive play from Di Pasquale, and a nice save from Sarah Haste as well.
Yeah, Di Pasquale playing with a lot of emotion, because this very well could be her last game as a Knight, as she is a senior. As Ryder is sprung, but the shot and a great save by Volpe, and a great effort to corral the loose ball. And that right there is the Knights' best chance, really, since their since their goal. As this one's going to get skied into center. Where it'll get over to Varmeyer. But it's taken away. Trying to spring Calendar, where she's defended by Phillips. Good defense there by Phillips. And she will force it out for a goal kick. That was, like I've said many times, picture-perfect defense. Time and space, and it's a goal kick for Haste now.
Well, great work from Ashley Phillips. Just gets herself right in the mix. No room for Kaylee's Calendar as she tries to round that corner, and Phillips will just get a toe on that one and send it right out of bounds, and the Knights will head the other way. Played into the middle there for Tora Moreno as she'll look to stretch that one out for Lily Ryder, just out of her reach, and sent back out to center by the Hawks.
Thank you, Christian. As Russell will play this one. Goebel's going after the loose ball, but it'll stay with the Hawks. As a nice defensive play there to get the ball to Truant, as it's tried to spring Ryder, but a nice defensive play there by Lewis. Lewis and Ryder have been having a lot of battles so far in this one, and so far, Lewis has had the best of it, but Ryder's going to try and change that for sure. As Calendar is breaking in on the wing, trying to spring the open teammate, but a nice header there by Vogel to break it up. As the goal scorer, Tora Moreno, is going to take this one near center. Anisha Goebbels, the leading goal scorer for the Knights, trying to spring Varmeyer, but a little too much on that one, and a good play there by Volpe. If you're just joining us now, it is tied at 1 in the 67th minute, and coming in to this one, the 2-7 matchup between Sheridan and St. Clair. As Ryder is nearly sprung, but Varmeyer will take the loose ball as she will spring Ryder. As taken on the side, and that one was offside. It almost looked like it was out of bounds, but it will be Hawks ball.
Just offside. Lily Ryder finds a way around that corner and makes a move towards the front post, and just gets a little bit too far ahead of that last line of defense, but a nice power move from her, and a dangerous looking scoring chance for the Knights.
Severin's going to check back in for Varmeyer for the Knights. As this one is played in Hawks territory. This one will get sent into near center. Trying to get it to Sprala. As that one will get out for DeVera. Vogel's going to play it. Di Pasquale feeling the pressure will get it up to Tora Moreno. Nice move to get past the defender. She's going to try and spring Greco, but too much on that one, and Volpe's going to pick this one up.
It's a nice move at center there from Tora Moreno, not just on the pickup, but immediately makes a move around her defender, takes a couple of strides to the center line with her head up, and makes a fantastic attempt down this near side for Greco.
Yep. As if this one goes into extra time, which looks like it will, we're going to have a 10-minute break, and then we'll have two 15-minute halves to see if we can get a winner. And if we're still tied after that, we're going to get penalties. So we'll see what happens over the next 20 plus as Greco is going to try and spring Ryder where she'll play the loose ball, gets it past the defender where it's taken away by Fraga, where it's cleared and played off of Ryder, but it'll get to Di Pasquale and it'll get out and it'll get thrown in to Vogel. Sarah Vogel, the fourth-year player, potentially in her last game at the Young Sportsplex, but we'll see what happens over the next 19 plus as Goebbels is gonna get the loose ball, and a nice defensive play there by Humber as it's trying to get it up to Russell, and a foul is called on the play. This one will get spotted just past center.
Great opportunity here for the Hawks. Find some room in that box and potentially steal one here with just under 19 left to play.
This one's gonna get sent in, but Hayes is gonna simply pick it up and make the play. Directing traffic, she's gonna send this one into near center where Greco is gonna try and get it up to Phillips, but a little too much on that one. Where Phillips will make the throw in right by us. Thrown into Greco. Tried to get it up to Ryder, but too much on that one. Played by Santandigua, excuse me. And Ettore will be down. Taken down by Tor Moreno, and a foul was called.
Dangerous spot for a free kick here for the Hawks.
Absolutely.
20 feet outside the box, that's a danger zone. And a great opportunity here for Humber to find one once again.
Yeah, and you've got to think, as we've said it before, and it was not true when we said it, but you got to think that the next ones might be the winning tally, but there's a reason why we play the game.
Especially at this stage, Alex, 17 minutes left to play. Any momentum shift, no matter how small, and a goal as big as that would be, is going to be a big difference in this game.
As Russell puts that one on that easy stop for Haste. She'll direct traffic and send this one into the near center. Goebbels will put that into nice territory. Another play for Haste.
Beautiful save by Sarah Haste off that free kick. Just stays square to the shooter. Doesn't get too far ahead of herself or too antsy. Diving left and right and makes a beautiful play. Gloving that one down and saving a goal for the Knights.
This one's played by Santandigua. Vogel will chip it, but it'll get back to the Hawks, and that one's going to be a foul. It'll be Knights ball. And we'll get to Di Pasquale, deciding her options. Finding the ever so speedy Tor Moreno, who scored in this one, has done a bit of both with offense and defense. We were talking about to see if she could maybe chip in offensively. She certainly did, and she'd like to chip in again as we've got a foul here. Bediaka looks like she knocked down Ryder, and she's in some pain.
rider seems to be favoring the left leg as she will return to her feet here.
Looks like she'll be all right. That was a pretty decently sized collision, hence why they called the foul. Yeah, but she's back, and we'll take it just near center, almost at the 76th minute mark in this one.
Well, that physical reputation for the Hawks definitely rings true. Lots of yellow cards this season and a very strong physical presence from these women. And that continues to be a factor here in Welland.
As it's up to Nichols, defended by DeVero, and it's cleared by Vogel, and this one will almost get out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Hawks. As Greco will play the loose ball, as Tormoreno will apply pressure on Fraga. As we've said so many times in this cast so far, Tormoreno has been phenomenal, as DeVero's in a battle with Nichols. Vogel will elect to slow it down and chip it into Knights territory. This one will get sent back to Volpe, where she'll chip it into near center up to Attore. And this one will get sent nearly to Vogel. A little bit of a misplay, and Vogel looks like she got one of the Hawks. Can't quite see here, but on the play trying to get that ball, it looks like she might have clipped one of the Hawks.
Yeah, it was a jump forward play as the attacking Hawk was looking to make a move around Vogel, and Vogel in response lifted up her right leg and tries to go for the ball and only the ball, and accidentally catches the midsection of the suffering Hawk at the moment, and she'll receive a few stretches. And
yeah, Robitaille wanted a card, but it didn't seem like it was much of anything malicious, as Russell looks like she's going to be all right.
Definitely not malicious at all, just going for the ball, healthy intent, and sometimes things like that happen.
Bang, bang play.
Yep.
Just probably part of the reason why there was no call, because it was just such a bang, bang play, and the officials might have missed it. But it will be Haste's ball for the Knights after the stoppage, just past the 78th, where it'll get to the captain. Directing traffic, she'll try and get it to Tormoreno, but a little too much on that one, and bit of a competition for it. It'll go with the Knights. Looked like it went off of one of the Knights, but I'm sure the Knights aren't complaining about the call. Tormoreno's gonna play this one. This one will get sent into near center, defended by Di Pasquale. Phillips will play this one near center. This one will be played by the Hawks, and it'll get into Knights territory. Vogel will chip it over to Rodrigue. DeVero will play it past center.
Big collision at center there.
Yep.
Goebbels came running in hard.
Vogel will give this off to Haste, or she'll softly give it up to Di Pasquale, getting past attacker, where it'll get to nearly up to Phillips on the wing. A little too much on that one, as we're going to get a substitution for Humber. Melina Acosta is going to check in for the Hawks, and Alyssa Fragra is going to check out for Humber. So we'll see if those substitutions, how they'll impact the last
Well,
9.5.
9.5 to go here, Alex, and a huge game for both of these teams as we get ready to count down the minutes. Crunch time for the Knights and the Hawks. A little bit of a stalemate here over the last 10 minutes or so. Came flying out of the gate first 10 minutes. Both teams get on the score sheet, and the game has very slowly sealed back up once more as the last 9 minutes here proved to be the deciding factor.
As Ryder shoots, and it will be high and out of bounds. That's a golden chance there, and this one where it's so tightly contested, that one might be one where...
Ryder looking skyward tonight on her bed, thinking about that one.
Yep. Looks like she almost was pulling on her jersey a bit after frustration, as this one will get out off of...
Well, 2 or 3 chances like that for Lily Ryder so far this evening. She's had plenty of opportunities, haven't had the chance to find the back of the net
well,
so
Ryder,
far tonight.
Ryder's been a big part of this offense, second in the team in points. So Niagara's definitely going to want to get her going, well, now, because this is an elimination game, of course, but as she's got it and cleared. To Greco. Try to give it to Tor Moreno, but it's given away. But Vogel will try and play the pass that was intended to Russell, as Russell will get it back. Defended by Devereaux. Fans want to call, but no call. As Callender will play this one, defended by Phillips. We've mentioned the matchup between Ryder and Lewis. A matchup on this side of the field has been Phillips and Callender. So, as Phillips has been incredible defensively, we'll see how that continues over the next 7+.
Phillips and Di Pasquale right here on this right side of the field. They've been fantastic. Tor Moreno taken out there at center, but defensively, that tandem has done a great job of managing Khalees Callender, who is a very dangerous offensive presence for this Humber Hawks team. Like we mentioned a few times earlier, 14 points this season, 7 goals scored for her. And Phillips, alongside of Di Pasquale, has done a great job of keeping her out of dangerous areas.
Spala tripping up. Tor Moreno will get the yellow card, the second yellow by the Hawks this game. We mentioned that they're a very physical team. They were second in the league in penalties, so we'll see how that transcribes over the next 6, as this one is going to get back to Devereaux. As it's given away to Phillips, as Phillips shoots, and a good stop there by Haste. Bit of a scary scene there.
Interesting play. Khalees Callender floats that one into center, and it's ran onto by the Hawks. And a little bit of a confusing play for Molly Devereaux on the far side. She didn't know whether to stay or go, to leave it there in the middle for Sarah Vogel, and a little bit of confusion on the backside for the Knights creates that opportunity, and Sarah Haste is there to shut the door.
That one near the out-of-bounds line, centered by Callender, and a good header there by Vogel to keep it on the outside, but Phillips is going to keep it. Defended by Tor Moreno. And this one's going to get back to Nichols, where it's bounced on net, and it'll be played by Haste. Haste directing traffic over trying to figure out what to do in these last 5. The 5 most important minutes of the season, as both of these teams are fighting to live another day and advance to the second round of this postseason. As Vogel applies the pressure, and I'll get back to Di Pasquale, where it's given away. A nice play there by Tor Moreno as it looks to spring the other way, but it will get back to Humber. Bedieka with the play. Calendar defended by Phillips, as we said so much over this cast, where Acosta will make the play over to Lewis. Volpe's going to send this one over onto the wing. This one's going to get into past center, where Rodriguez is going to make a play on it. And Phillips will recover the loose ball, trying to spring Ryder, but a great defensive play there by the Hawks. Tries to do the same, but Phillips is there to make the play as Tor Moreno is going to break this one in. Getting pressured by Acosta. The Ryder's going to have it on the wing. As she'll center, a little too much on that one, but Devereaux is going to have the ball, but a good defensive play there by Torre. And this one will get out, as we're going to have a sub for Niagara. Greca, who started this one, is going to check out, and it looks like Varmeyer is going to come back in. Varmeyer, the second-year player from Aurora, Ontario. So we'll see if she can make a difference here coming back into this one.
She'll line up on this near side against Anyan Bediako, who's, as we've mentioned many times tonight, a very dangerous opponent. Very skilled defensively, got great feet, and does a good job to close off any available lanes. And we'll see if Varmeyer can make the difference here on the near side.
Well, if she's going to make a difference in any game, it better be, well, she hopes this is the one. Because this one, whichever one of these teams loses, they're going home. As Calendar will make the play on the wing. Feeling pressure from about 3 defenders there. Devereaux applying good pressure there. As it's centered, Phillips is going to chip this one back, and it's going to be a corner for the Knights.
Huge opportunity here for the Hawks.
Russell's going to play this one in the corner in just past the 88th minute mark. So one right here is likely going to be the dagger. But Russell will make the play for the corner. Centered. Headed
Next one, buddy.
by Nichols, but it'll get up and out of play. That was a bit of a scare for the Hawks, for the Knights.
Just a beautifully placed corner right into the small box there, and finds a Hawk's head, just can't quite get vertical enough above that ball to head it downwards, but a great execution out of the corner, a great target, and unfortunately just not enough height to find the back of the net on that header.
Fortunately for the Knights, as it is played, and it'll go off of Devereaux and will be throw-in for Humber. As this one looks like it's likely to go into extra time, the format will be a 10-minute break after the additional extra time in this second half, and we'll have 2 15-minute halves. If it's still knotted up after that, we're gonna have penalties. So this one is likely to be very, very interesting down the stretch in this do or die game between the Hawks and the Knights.
A very interesting structure for the extra time is 2 15-minute halves as opposed to a all-out 30-minute play-out of maybe a third quarter, if you want to call it that. And we'll see how things progress here. We have reached the 90th minute, and that ball out the end line, and the Knights will retain possession.
well, the officials will likely let a decent amount of extra time go with the numerous stoppages we had with injuries and goals. So we'll see how this pans out over the next however many long. But like you said, we are in extra time past the 90th, as this one is played by Robitaille. As Callender tries to get sprung, but the loose ball gets back to Russell. Devereaux pressuring Nichols on the wing. And Devereaux will get the loose ball, and Greco will clear that one out. This one will get left for Sprala, where she'll throw this one in.
Dangerous press here from the Hawks in the last minute. Lots of pressure.
Greco's gonna play this one, try to spring rider, but it's taken away by the defender. Greco applying the pressure, headed by Callender, and Hayes is more than happy to just let that one go for a goal kick. As Callender for the Hawks is down, and from what the chatter out there looked like, it looked like a Charlie horse, but we'll see.
She's getting some assistance from her teammate there, but last 45 to a minute. Here the Hawks with nothing but pressure for the Knights and not a whole lot of a response from the Niagara College Knights defensive line, and the midfield has been all but empty for the last minute 30 here in extra time as the Knights look to curb this momentum shift for the Hawks and find a way to escape the danger and get themselves into extra time, into that 10-minute break, and maybe discuss their options.
Try and stay warm.
Stay warm and approach that first 15-minute period with a new game plan, because the Hawks have all but won this half. I think they came out with attitude, they came out with purpose, and they showed that they weren't going to let that first half go without a fight, and they came back here in this second half. Limited scoring chances. I can't count one I've seen. Aside from Lily Ryder's chance inside of the first 10 minutes, it's been a relatively quiet half for the Knights, and the Hawks have been really taking control of the pace of play, and the Knights looking to regroup here.
Yep, as we've got a substitution for the Knights. Greco is going to check out, and Truant will check in on the sub, as looks like Callender is going to be okay after that scare. She's tied for 7th in the league in scoring, as she's going to come off, actually, it looks like. Looks like she's limping on that left leg. So we'll see who takes her spot, as that's a big loss.
She did a little test, and it didn't feel too good, so she will head off, and we will have a substitution here for the Hawks inside of the extra time, which will be extended here.
Afonso is going to come in for the injured Callender. But the Knights are just looking to get this out of their end, because it's been all Hawks the last 5 minutes or so. The Hawks coming into this one as the 6th seed and Niagara as the 3 seed. But the Hawks have not played like a 6 seed, that is for sure. This one's going to get booted. There's a header, and it's one's going to get cleared just to center, where Bedieka will let that go out for a throw-in. Where Varmeyer was going to apply the pressure to Phillips. This one getting sprung up to Afonso. Excuse me, Santigua, where Hayes will make this play. And the extra time where she'll kick it into near center, where Ryder is in a 50-50 for it, and it'll get to the Knights. Phillips will give it back to Ryder, but Humber will make the play, and this one will get out for a throw-in for Niagara.
Just great pressure there from Lily Ryder. Gives no time and space to the opposing Hawk midfielder and creates a situation where there's nowhere to go but place that one out of bounds, and the Knights will take over possession.
Yeah, it's been the theme really this whole game is time and space. Both teams have done a good job taking away time and space, which is why we're deadlocked at only 1. But Lily Ryder's going to try and change that, springing in across the wing, defended by Lewis. Goebbels has it, feeling the pressure from the defenders, but she'll keep it. She'll get it over to Ryder on the wing. Ryder's going to get tripped up by Afonso, and that'll be a free kick. It's interesting to see how much extra time the officials are going to allow, because we've had,
so far maybe 3 minutes up until this point, but the whistle is still firmly placed in the official's pocket, and no signs of it coming out soon. And this is a huge free kick for the Knights.
This could decide the season.
This is it right here. Anisha Goebbels to kick.
Not a better person to do the kick, as Goebbels is going to center this one, where it's picked up by Volpe, and that is going to do it for regulation time. If you're just joining us, we're going to have a 10-minute break. After the break, we're going to have 2 15-minute halves between these two teams, and if we are still tied after those 2 halves, we're going to have penalties, sudden death like in FIFA, 5 each for both sides. So you're going to want to stick right here in this defensive matchup so far, where we will step aside for the break and we will have overtime between the Hawks and your Knights. We are back for extra time between these two Hawks and the Knights. If you're just joining us now, we're going to play two 15-minute halves. And if nothing is decided by then we're going to go to penalties. And the winner of this game is going to go play Centennial. As we've mistaken in our broadcast, they will not be playing Sheridan. That was a mistake on our part. We apologize. They will be on the road against Centennial.
Yeah, Centennial had a huge win this afternoon, taking one 7-0 over St. Lawrence, and that will be enough to secure them home field advantage next week, taking on one of these two clubs. The winner here tonight in extra time will take the trip to Centennial.
Niagara will be shooting towards our left, and the Lions will be shooting towards our right. As Goebbels is making a play on the ball, as it gets up to Truant, but it'll get back to Robitaille, where she'll feel the pressure and she'll evade Greco. You've got to think that nerves are definitely settling in for both of these teams.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. This is it. This is do or die. The season is riding on the next goal to find the back of the net, and you can bet that all of these players, all 11, both sides, are feeling that right down to their core, and there's no better feeling, I have to say. Backs against the wall for both of these teams. It's nerve-wracking, it's electric, it's exciting, and both of these teams are here to put on a show in extra time here in Welland.
Well, when you were a kid, you always dreamed of scoring the Game 7 overtime winner, or the golden goal. So one of these women will do that today, but it's a matter of who and for which team. So we'll see what happens as we're in the 92nd in this first half of extra time, as this one's going to try to get up to Russell, where Di Pasquale, will apply the pressure. Excuse me. As it tries to get centered, but it'll stay with the Hawks. Bediaka will chip this one in, headed by Di Pasquale. Bit of a collision there between Varmeyer and Bediaka, but this one is played by Greco up to Goebbels. Goebbels tried to get it up to Greco, but a little too much on that one, and it's going to get to the Hawks, but Vogel's going to play the loose ball up to Tor Moreno, the goal scorer, who's definitely left her mark on this game. Win, lose, win or loss. You can't say win, lose, or draw, because
we're not going to have one.
Nope.
No draw here tonight in Welland, but not just the goal scorer, Sienna Tor Moreno, but also the all-around superstar here in Welland tonight, defensively and offensively, really making her mark. Her footprint has been all over the turf here in Welland, and she continues to do so here in extra time, and the Knights will surely be looking at her quite a bit here in extra time to step up and be the leader that she is for this Knights club.
And the scary thing is for the OCAA is Tor Moreno's in year one.
She is still a baby as far as the OCAA is concerned, and she's got a very, potentially very long and successful career ahead of her here with the Knights, and I'm sure head coach for the Knights is really looking forward to enjoying her talents here in Niagara.
As Varmeyer is going to try and send it over to Truant, but no luck on that. Devereaux is going to play it. Defended by Santandigua, as it's going to get back to Volpe, the keeper. Volpe's going to kick this one into near center, where Spalla nearly jumped over at Devereaux, or she'll give it back to Di Pasquale, to the star, Tor Moreno, as it tries to get to Varmeyer, but a little too much on that one, but Phillips will be back to make the play. Phillips, like we've said so many times on this cast, has been unbelievable on the defensive side of the ball. Really shutting down Calendar in this one.
That she has, and that most recent play there, the most important of them all, extra time defensive efforts, whether they be few and far between, are so important because you have no idea how that play is going to turn out. And you got to give it 100% at every turn. And Di Pasquale, the captain of the back end for the Knights, has shown that time and time again throughout the season and also here tonight in Welland.
As this one gets set up to Bediaka. That one is shot by Nichols and blocked by a defender, and it'll roll in for Hayes. The winner of this one is going to take on Centennial, not Sheridan, as we previously said on this cast. As this one's going to get skied to center, over to Truant, where Devereaux's going to play it. Loose ball is going to get to Robitaille. Robitaille surveying her options, feeling a little bit of pressure from Truant, but we'll get it over to Ananya Bediaka. That one's going to get sent in, where it's up to Nichols. Whereas this one's sky high. Vogel's going to send this one up to Weimar near center, and she'll try and give it over to Tor Moreno. Good pass there to break it to the superstar in her first season. As it'll get to Di Pasquale, and it'll get out for a throw in for the Knights. And as Alyssa Fragra is going to check in for Humber, she'll take a Costa spot. Now that we're in extra time and it's getting extra cold, we'll see how that impacts the game in substitutions, as these women are going to try and stay warm and sharp. And
most definitely, Alex. And you can see on the bench, both sides, hats, snow pants, winter jackets are donned, and blankets sprawled right across the bench. So both teams doing their best to stay as warm as possible. And we'll see how often players are substituted out of the game, specifically regarding the cold.
As Nichols is going to take this one. She shoots, and just over the crossbar. That could have been a disaster for Niagara. And we talk about something keeping you up at night. Nichols missed that by about not even a foot.
An inch? Talk about a foot, less than a foot. That was a hair over the crossbar. And wow, yeah. If this one goes the other way, you can bet that she's going to be thinking about that one all the way home to Toronto. She made a great move just outside the box, kind of chipped it behind the defender, walked into the 18-footer and put her boot right through that one. And it was a beautiful shot, just a little too hard and over the bar. And this one stays 1-1.
That one tried to get to Greco. I'm a bit surprised that Devereaux didn't take that. She had time and space, but tried to get it over to Greco, and it's picked off. But Di Pasquale's got it. The captain tries to give it to Phillips on the wing, and this one will get out for a Hawks throw-in. You talk about these ladies having hats and snow pants and blankets on the bench. That's the complete opposite from what we had at the start of the season, which the first matchup between these two teams was each of these teams' first game, where Niagara won 2-1, and it looks like the winner of this game will likely win 2-1, but that's why we play the games. As we reach the 10-minute mark of the first half of extra time. As this one's going to get to Devereaux. Feeling the pressure from Santandigua, and this one's going to get in tonight's territory, but the captain's there to play it. And she'll try and get it over to Goebbels. Vogel's got it. Receiving the pass from the captain, Di Pasquale. Vogel very likely playing in her last game at Young Sportsplex. But Vartmeyer's gonna break through. She's got it in her center, tries to shoot, but she fans on it, and it's taken away by Lewis, but she gave it away to Rodriguez. Truan's got it on the wing. Trying to create some separation. She centers, tries to get it to Vartmeyer, but it's blocked, but Devereaux tried to get it into the middle, and it's going to get back for Pasquale. Vogel almost just settling it down after the chaos, but she's going to look to make a play here as we are almost 12 minutes into the 15 minutes of extra time.
Like you said, couple of opportunities there for the Knights as they finally break through the midfield. And a beautiful move on this side from Hannah Truan, and her cross is met with a Humber Hawks boot, and that one doesn't come to pass, but a nice flurry of chances from the Knights.
As Truan's gonna pick up the loose ball, but try to get it over to Greco, but it's taken away by a member of the Hawks. Volpe's gonna send this one into near center. Very nice play there by Sprala, trying to spring Calendar, and Hayes comes out of her net, and a nice play there. That could have been risky, but good risk to take. And we've got a foul on this one. Looks like it was Frega who fouled Goebbels, and Goebbels having a smile about that one. Well, get the kick by Di Pasquale as we're almost at the 13th minute mark of the 15 of extra, first half of extra time, I should say. Devereaux's gonna take the pass from Vogel as it's try to get it to Truant, and it's taken away by Ettore, and that one's gonna get out. That ball trying to get up to Nichols, but it's gonna be Devereaux's throw. Tormoreno's gonna give it over to Di Pasquale. And that one's gonna get to Phillips, where she tries to keep it in, but it's gonna get out for Inanya Bedieka. Goebbels has it, just past center. Goebbels playing a little bit of hot potato. And that one's nearly sprung Nichols, but a nice play there by Vogel to. That one's gonna get to Truant. Truant feeling a bit of pressure from the defender, deciding her options. She's gonna try and spring the goal scorer, Tor Moreno. A little too much on that one. The Hawks are gonna break out in the 14th minute of this first half of extra time, where Calendar's gonna take this one, defended by Phillips. Great block there by Phillips, and she gets knocked down from the block, and this one will get cleared into Hawks territory, where Volpe's gonna pick this one up. Volpe directing traffic, and she'll boot this one into near center, where Attori's gonna play it. Attori over to Robitaille, and back to Volpe. Looks like Vartmeyer got clipped there by.
Yeah, grabbing her right calf, and she's slowly limping back to center. So she looks to be okay as the Hawks go the other way with 5 seconds left in this first extra period.
Vogel gave it away to Santandigua, and take it, and that is the first half of extra time. We're gonna do it over again. More free soccer coming up for the second half of extra time. Eventful on both sides. Both teams had a couple of chances. The Hawks nearly hit the crossbar. Looked like like you said, about an inch too high and nearly the dagger, but we're gonna play another 15.
It's weirdly reminiscent of the first half of this one between these two clubs. The first half, very, very tempered. You know, not a whole lot going on out there. Organized and structured for both teams defensively, not opening up the field and conceding a whole lot of chances besides the one from the Hawks. And then in the second half, everything opens up. All of a sudden, it's a totally different game. 10 minutes into that second half, we have 2 goals on the scoreboard. And something makes me think that this extra time is going to be very similar. A very slow start, they ease in to that first period, and as soon as we kick off in the second, bombs away. Both these clubs are going to bring out the best of the best. I can tell you right now, I don't think either of them want to go to penalties. This last 15 minutes probably going to be the most entertaining 15 of the night so far, and we'll be right here in Welland to bring you that coverage.
We are back for the second half of this extra time. We're going to have another 15 minutes of free soccer. So,
well, this is it, Alex. It all comes down to this right here. The final 15 minutes of live play for one of these two clubs before we head to penalties. And I expect the field to open up massively here over this next 15 because, like we said before the break, penalties are up in the air. There's no guarantee. Nobody wants to go to penalties if they don't have to, so seal the deal in regulation play time, and I think both of these clubs have the same thing in mind. Jose Caro and Rob Lalama, respective head coaches for both clubs, I'm sure were pleading with their women to put that foot on the gas and drive towards the prize at the end of the sunset, and let's go take on Centennial next week, and we'll see how this one shakes out.
And to your point, it almost seems like when something happens on one side, the whole game opens, and then it'll just collapse. That's kind of been the story of the regulation time and even the extra time as well. So we'll see if that continues for the second half of this extra time here, the second 15-minute, I guess you could call it quarter, because we've had two halves and two.
Fourth quarter.
Yep.
Here in Welland.
Getting excited for basketball, but I'm even more excited for this thriller of a game so far. It's been an honor to watch, I'll tell you that.
And an honor to commentate. Talk about an electric performance from both clubs. I mean, Humber has been spectacular in their own right in the Knights. Sarah Haste showing up big time in that first overtime period.
I'll tell you what, both of these teams, no matter who wins or loses, they have to hold their head high. They've been battle tested. They've gone through the mud, and whoever loses is most likely going to lose in a heartbreaker.
Well, like you said, performances deserved a tip cap, and tonight both the Humber Hawks and the Niagara College Knights will receive a tip cap from myself and all the spectators here in Welland, as this has been a heck of a performance from both teams.
Yeah, as Tor Moreno was down, it looks like she was tripped up by Santandigua, and there was no call. I was a little bit surprised, but Tor Moreno's back on her feet, and Devereaux's gonna make a pass to back to Devereaux, where she'll center, and this one's gonna get out. Looks like it's going to be a goal kick.
Well, a great opportunity there for Molly Devereaux. She makes a nice cross into the middle, just doesn't quite find the middle of the box. It stops at the front post, and nice work from Volpe to freeze that.
As Phillips with a swing and a miss there. That's the second one we've seen tonight. Luckily, Hayes is back there to recover for her, but this one's going to get to the captain, Di Pasquale. I've seen a couple of the players, especially since we got towards the latter part of this one, excuse me. Some of them have put on gloves.
Oh yeah, gloves, and I would be putting on pants too. It's very cold here in Welland, and these ladies are continuing to play soccer at a very high level, which is so impressive given the circumstances and the conditions.
Well, when these two teams last played at the beginning of the season, it was a little cold and rainy, but this is very cold, as Devereaux's gonna try and spring Varmeyer, where she's got it on the wing, and she centers, headed by nearly a goal by Greco. I thought that went in.
Are you kidding me?
We
right by the post.
We talk about a game of inches, and that is perfectly shown there. And even going back to the first half of this extra time, is it's tried to get sprung to Calendar, and Goebbels has it, and we'll give it back to Varmeyer. Varmeyer's going to center, tried to get it over to Greco, but it's played by the defender, and Phillips is going to have another battle with Calendar, as we've said so much during this
all night.
Cast.
All night it's been those two going back and forth, and Calendar will get the better of Phillips this time as she draws a free kick for the Hawks. But that last play, what a sequence. Crossed into the box by Varmeyer, and right on the doorstep, tipped back door for Molly Devereaux, and it almost happened in slow motion. It went past that post so slow.
It almost felt like it was in a movie, a dramatic slow-mo movie.
That close, that close.
Well, we talk about that play,
and
even in the second half, with the shot just barely missing the crossbar.
Oh yeah, it's back and forth. They're trading chances and trading near misses here. One in the first half of the overtime for the Hawks, and in the second extra time period, the Knights find their near miss. So now we're looking for that spot on goal. But there will only be one.
Russell's gonna chip that one. A miss, and Hayes is gonna take the loose ball. We've got a bit of a fog on the field now too, with the getting cooler and darker out. So we'll see if that, it's more so on in Hawks territory. So we'll see if that makes an impact on this tied game, because like we've said, it's been a game of inches, and even just a little advantage could make or break the game, and that's certainly an advantage Knights. Haste is out here directing traffic as she's gonna send this one into near center. Tried to get it to Truant, where Devereaux is gonna make the play. This one's gonna get to Fragra. This one's gonna be chipped by Calendar, but sprung in on net to Haste. This one is played in just near center by Goebbels. Truant defending. Passing it over to the wing. Nice defensive play by Devereaux. Where it's tried to sprung up to Russell, and that one's gonna go out off of the Knights. And even going back to my point with the fog, it seems now it's even starting to move a bit towards into Knights territory. So we'll see what happens here, but
my first thought, Alex, is the penalties. If we have penalties, I'm sure we're not going to be doing it at opposite sides of the field, but if they do choose that side, the fog could not only hinder the shooter, but the goalkeeper as well. So we'll see how that progresses. That shot just over the bar and right on the net. So we approach the final minute here of extra time in this electric performance between the Hawks and the Niagara College Knights. Still 1-1, deadlock.
I'll tell you what, time is flying by. This does not feel like the 119th minute of this one.
Not at all. It's been that entertaining and that impressive. These ladies putting on a show here in Welland, and one way or another, we will have an answer. Who will go to Centennial next week?
On Saturday. As Calendar's gonna throw this one in. Or it's headed by Di Pasquale. Barmeyer's gonna send that into near center. Looks like Di Pasquale tries to head it, and it's blocked and sent high. Barmeyer looks like she's limping a little bit after that kick. I'm not sure quite what happened. Looks like she's gonna be okay, but.
Well, Di Pasquale just saved a goal. That was a beautiful sliding defensive play there, and she took one away as the Hawks barreled into that box and played an aggressive shot on the net, and they're not out of danger yet. Corner kick looming here for Humber.
Looks like Russell's going to take the corner for the Hawks.
Everybody in the box here for Humber.
Lots of chatter out there directing traffic. This one's going to get centered. Headed by Nichols, and that one's going to get high. It's going to go high, so another good chance there for for Humber, and Niagara just trying to get the pressure out of their own end. This one's going to get sent into near center by Vogel, but Humber's going to make a play on the ball. This one's going to get up to Callender. Callender defended by Phillips, as we've said so much in this cast. Devereaux is applying pressure, getting some help from Churin. Walks in and a nearly fumbled there by Hayes. We're talking, even in this cold, it's going to be harder to pick up that ball. So we'll see how that plays out in this extra time.
A beautiful clutch save from Sarah Haste as attacking Hawks coming in from all angles, and she does a great job to just pick that one up and be sure to secure that loose ball before a Hawk can get the boot on it.
This one's going to get left for Phillips, or she'll throw it in, and Varmeyer still favoring that right calf, it almost looks like. She's trooping it out. We'll see if she'll have to come out, but Phillips will have a redo on the throw-in. And back to the point with the fog, it's now towards center and cleared away from Hawks territory. So we'll see how that transpires in the next few minutes. This one's going to get sent into Knights territory where Di Pasquale is going to play it. We'll give and go with Phillips. And she's going to send this one up to Varmeyer. That one's going to get sent into Hawks territory, and Di Pasquale, the captain, was down. She's up now. That was what the stoppage was for. So we'll see what happens off this one. Bit of a break for Niagara because they'll get the ball back, because it looked like it was going to get towards Volpe. But we'll see what the captain has in her bag of tricks here as she'll play this one near center. This one's going to get sent in. Tora Moreno was held, trying to make a play on the ball. Phillips defending. This one is on the sidelines, where it's played by Callender, defended by Phillips, centered. And that one is in the back of the net. A miscue by Sarah Haste. And Callender sending this one out front. And a big pile out front celebrating the goal.
Beautiful cross from Kelly's Callender. Finds her teammate right in the box. And how about that header? Just right on the money. Right on the money. Sarah Hayes can't believe it. Heartbreak here in Niagara's. Just like that, it's 2-1, and how quick was that play? Like,
bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
As right now, it's
one final push for the Knights.
Played by Tora Moreno on the kick. And this one's gonna get cleared by the setup woman, Callender. Vogel's gonna throw this one in.
Inside of the final minute here, 20 on the clock, 0-0s. Extra time looming. The Knights pushing forward with everything they have. It all comes down to this.
See how much time the officials put on, but it's got to be all hands on deck, as this one's attempted to be centered by Barmeyer. She'll get past the two defenders. And Devereaux's going to chip this one in, and it'll be played by Volpe. As right now, it seems like the Hawks are just content to let the time go by. Just past, well, we're in extra time. We're a collision there between Vogel and we'll get back to the Knights, and Tor Moreno's gonna send this one in, trying to spring deep Pasquale, which you don't say very much, and Attore is gonna clear this one. Bit of the 2-minute offense here for the Knights.
Yep, everybody forward. Ball needs to advance. No alternative.
And that is the end of the game. An absolute heartbreaking loss for the Knights. We thought it was going to go to penalties, but a great pass by Callender. A play that kind of came something from nothing.
It was nothing. It was a ball played down the near side, just right on this near side corner, and Khalees Cameron puts a boot on it. And at first, there's nobody in the box. There's one attacking Hawk. It falls directly to her head and straight into the back of the net, and heartbreak here for the Knights.
Yeah,
as everything going their way in that extra time. In the 18th minute of this second period, they fall.
Well, as we said, it's a game of inches, and as it's a game of inches, as we're gonna get a replay up here of Humber's dagger, just a beautiful pass by Callender and into the back of the net. And I'll tell you what, for Niagara, you have to hold your head high, nearly taking it to penalties, losing 2-1. As the visiting crowd gives an ovation to the visitors, we'd like to thank you for joining us, not just today, but for this season of incredible Knights soccer. I'm Alex Vanden Hek, and he is Christian Simmons. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you next time.
Niagara College.